have one left.
We'll see, not yet.
Remember that when you cook out.
I know.
I said, just a few right there out by the flagpole.
The last time I was there, I was in one of those stupid raffle tickets. And we're on video now?
Yep, you're gonna have to be on live stream tonight. Why, are you intending to get out of hand or what?
Maybe.
We're gonna talk race cars. Red eye.
Red eye, you're the president.
Let's call this meeting to order then. Town of Warren Redevelopment Commission.
Thank you, sir. So my name is Greg Garataz for the audience that is playing at home. And I'm the financial advisor to the RDC and to the town of Warren. So I would like to take us through the two documents that you have in front of you. The first one will be the presentation, the annual presentation. And, oh good, we're not gonna be arrested, so, since we know him. So the Town of Warren annual presentation, this is to kind of update on where we are, and this is to kind of communicate to the underlying taxing districts and allow them to ask any questions that they may have. And it's pretty simple here in the Town of Warren. So if you go to the first page, that should be the agenda. These are some of the items I'm going to cover. And the map, which the map doesn't do it real good justice because, as you can see, the Town of Warren's down there at the bottom, but you guys know where it is. You drive through it. So, you know, and if anybody here in the town doesn't, all you need to do is go out to 69 and go to McDonald's. You'll be in the TIF district. So, the next page is you have the expiration date 2036. It's going to come to a theater near you pretty quick, quicker than you think. And so currently about 57 parcels, give or take, if a split occurs. So, the next one is the estimated cash flow, 5-year cash flow. Again, this is not a required document. It looks like this, Michelle, unless they were, yours may have gotten one
And
page.
it's mine.
There you go, there you go.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
the secret page, Michelle.
Okay.
So, the top
I'm not allowed to
secret.
know.
So,
Guessing.
this is the estimated cash flow over the next 5 years. You can see the beginning balance, which was the actual number, 295 in 2024. So keep in mind the ending balance is the beginning balance. The last time I looked, according to my CPA certificate. So estimated revenues, notice that we've got that going down. And obviously that's because Everfresh, I believe is the term now. So there'll be some decrease as they eliminated some of the obsolete equipment and things like that. So we're expecting that revenue and the building to kind of change. So then we ramped it back up. To the best estimate, what's going to really be important is the assessment on 1/1/26. Because what is their start date, Marilyn?
I don't know anymore. It
Okay.
used to be March, I don't know what it is.
March of 26. So then it may still be March of 27 before we, or January of 27, before we even really truly see an actual assessed value. So beyond that, then we've got the capital outlays which have been estimated. And as we know, the sewer plant will need some expansion coming up at some point in time here, so that we have pinpointed that as a way that we can supplement that with TIF. So again, this is all estimated, and if you want to change the plan, you know, it has been budgeted for 2026. But if you want to change the plan, then ultimately we would do that next year. Okay? And so then finally, right behind that is the final debt amortization schedule. because you should recall, or some of you weren't really on the board, but in 2015, when we refunded these bonds and when we actually issued these bonds, and gosh, what, Marilyn, you know, was it 2005 maybe, or
Probably something like that.
2005, when we issued it, we had a pledge of TIF and sewer revenues to pay the debt, and you should be aware of that, and that's in the budget for 2026. So, that is the presentation. Any questions on that? Okay.
I have a question, Greg.
Yes, sir.
So the revenue's going down, so their assessed value will go down because they got rid of equipment?
Well, not so because of equipment, but the building actually went dormant for a while.
Right.
So we're expecting functional and economic obsolescence is actually a real term.
Okay.
And so they will ask for that, probably already asked for it on
And
1/1/26.
it's based on their revenues? Is that?
No, it's based upon the function of the sheer fact that the building was vacant. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
interesting.
yeah, so, so we wanted to kind of assume that, and if they miss that, then great, we'll have more revenues.
Okay.
So, but great question, yeah. Okay, then if not, we do need to go to the formal document then. This is the formal document that Marilyn will pin and upload to Gateway. And so this is the 2026 spending plan. This is the format that's been prescribed by the LGF, and they really haven't changed it since the first one we did, if you recall, 1 or 2 years ago. But you have to formally adopt this before December 1, okay? Last time I looked, we were okay. This is not December 1 yet. So, what we've done is showed the debt payments of $60,000, which you already saw on that amortization schedule at the very back. Then we put the $300,000 to assist the sewer plant, professional services, and basically
You don't
it
have
sums up
No,
the
I don't.
$365. Did that copy get missed?
Oh, it's got one. Just give it back.
Okay, yep.
Is there another
You,
page?
you got
missing?
one. You got one already? or No.
No,
Okay,
well,
So
there,
samples could include among others.
yeah,
Nothing.
there's nothing.
Okay, nothing. No, I got it.
Matter of fact, the only thing on that page on their prescribed form is 2026 sometimes, and that's at the bottom down here.
Okay.
So the total is 365. There's nothing else, because you don't anticipate, here, you can look at it. You don't anticipate any philanthropic endeavors or things like that, so, that I've been told. So, if you do, then you need to tell us now, and we would, it probably would be too late anyways, because you don't have it in your 26 budget.
So the 300,000 that is to assist with sewer plant upgrade, does that mean we're planning on using that this next year? Or,
That's gonna depend on Mr. Ben
Okay.
and how that goes and that whole thing. But I wanted to go ahead and set it up as a possibility,
okay,
because it's better to have it rather than not have it. And, this could help with engineering and things like that. I did bring up to Maryland that back about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, we did not enact anything on the sewer raise. And so we want to make sure that we're getting ahead of that ball game, because the sewer rates are up next. If you didn't remember, we did the water and electric. Sewer's up next, and depending on how we match that up with Ben and his plans,
okay.
that'll be the key.
So this is just getting moved to sewer, whether or not it's being used for a specific project.
It's not being moved.
It's not being moved, okay.
You can't
Just
move
allocating it.
TIF funds,
Okay.
so you have to spend it out of the TIF fund. And it allows you the 26 budget allows you that, and also this allows you that. But again, if you somehow change the plan next year, then we would just amend this.
Okay.
So, this form was created for the people like the town of Plainfield that has $3 billion of assessed value in their TIF district and basically hoarding cash.
Okay.
And so it is not for hoarding cash in Warren, Indiana, because they could care less.
Right.
The numbers are so small, and you've always done a very good job with your TIF money. So, but they had to kind of make it applicable to the entire state, and they want to know what these big boys are doing with their money. So, and I'm not kidding about $3 billion with the people.
They can share some with us.
Pardon me?
They can share some with us.
Yeah. Yeah, like the riverboat.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's it. If we'd like a formal approval of this plan, or so that Marilyn can upload it to Gateway. And again, it was just to satisfy the requirements before December 1.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. Ronnie got it.
This is the TIF plan that they're approving.
TIF spending plan, 2026. No formal approval of the annual presentation is needed.
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
and Steve.
Yes.
So
Thank
don't
you,
forget to
Ron.
upload it.
Is it?
And let the record.
Nearly 5.
Harold, ask
Go
one.
into the meeting, just move right into the regular meeting.
And you only
Just
just
go ahead.
1 minute. That's good.
I'll start with our regular meeting then. First up is Tom Neeser. It's you.
Would you like me here, or where would you like?
Wherever
Probably
you
up
want to
here
be.
so we can get you on the screen. If that's okay with council.
Yes.
Is that the formal hot seat?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
That's where the witness goes. Even though you're
It's
a lawyer.
being kept extra
I'm
warm
sorry.
with someone's coat.
It's my, I
That's where
forgot
is.
it was there.
Good evening. We're here to talk about your land that was acquired from the school corporation. Closing occurred in February of this year. And you obtained 2 appraisals for the purpose of selling the land, the average of which was $13,790 per gross acre. And for various reasons, from what we've been told, the market is such in terms of the cost of their cost of developing the land, in terms of utility, infrastructure, site work, and then the lot absorption rate, which is what we're being told. I'm not here to agree or disagree with it, but being told that lot absorption rate would be slow in terms of the developer's ability to recoup the investment being made, especially the upfront investment in extending utilities. Your agreement does provide that you extend electricity because you own your electric utility here in the town to the property. And this is for just the 20 acres. I don't think that it's the entire acreage, but just the initial 20 acres. So,
And maybe I can interject here is when he last met with you, when was it, 2 or 3 months ago?
it has been, it was warmer.
Yeah. You were given in an executive session certain information And Tom has an update on that information where he fully explained all this to the people that were here. Jeremy was not here, but he fully explained the situation to you. And so, as the end of the year is coming, I asked Tom if there were updates, and he said it would be good for him to meet with you.
So, remember, you entered into an agreement with the school corporation when you closed. Again, that's February of this year. And under that agreement, you're obligated to commence construction, not have a completed development, but commence construction within 3 years. That would be February of 2028. Now, from where I sit, I believe that there's no need today in November of 2025 that you're beginning to bump up against concern with that time frame. However, I do believe that by the time that we approach next summer, and summer being June to, traditional seasonal summer, June to September of 2026, if there's no agreement reached at that point in time, if market conditions have not changed, I do believe that it'd be appropriate for the town to either go back to the school corporation, not wait until the last minute to extend that time period. Whether or not they do so, I don't know, but to at least have that discussion, or to look at alternatives. You're governed in the disposition of the property by state statute. Right now, the provision that we've been operating under, that we've recommended to you, that you've been following, is to have 2 appraisals done of land. And within that, so long as you're willing to and do sell the land within an average, no less than average for those 2 appraisals, you're fine. You have flexibility within that statutory framework to, as you've already done, to look at other possible negotiating, you can call them incentives or agreements. One incentive you've already offered is, and provided, willing to provide, is the extension of electricity. You have, there's room outside of the statutory framework to look at what the town's participation could be if you so chose to look at the extension of utilities. A number of municipalities, other governmental entities are willing to do that because in exchange for the extension of those utilities, they know that there is on the back end of that an increase in customers. And that increase in customers is it's not a lifetime annuity, it's an eternal annuity. It goes on and on and on as long as the utility and the town are in existence. What that might be, the other alternative available to the town is to step back. You are not required to follow the average of the 2 appraisals. You can negotiate a lower price. However, in doing so, you have to publicly notice the community that of your intent to do so, go through a hearing process of passing a resolution that we could help draft for you to consider, have the public weigh in on that, and then allow the process to be basically opened. Now, doing so, you don't have to take or accept anyone's proposal, but you, by the same token, you don't know where that proposal is going to go. You open the entire process up. But it does give you the ability, under those circumstances, to structure a transaction that you like, and structure the transaction in terms of maintaining the covenants that the school corporation has required of you, imposing other conditions that, in addition to those covenants, that are important to the town, in terms of the type of housing or quality of housing, the lot absorption of that housing. Those are options available to you. Since we've last met, as you know, Federal Reserve has had 2 quarter-point rate reductions. There has been some adjustment to the 10-year bond rate, and for mortgages, for all homeowners, all of us that have a mortgage, you can look at any bond rate, but the important bond rate to look at is the 10-year Treasury. And that, just a couple weeks ago, I was very encouraged. It finally dipped below 4%. And if you paid attention, just a week or so later, nationally, there were news reports that mortgage rates correspondingly dipped as well. Well, now the 10-year is back up, but it's there continues to be more and more pressure being brought to try and lower that rate. You have all that. You have a lot of tools available to you in addition to the purchase price. You own the land. You have a lot of tools available to you with respect to utility infrastructure. You have a lot of tools available to you as to who you decide to contract with and the conditions you decide to contract with.
May I interject there?
Sure.
At the last meeting, you had suggested that the council and the 3 of them agreed to ask the developer what it would take. And did they ever respond to that?
I did, and I didn't receive an exact proposal, Marilyn, but the proposal, the comment that I received from Oakmont Development was that for them, under the current market, for this to work, they're going to need help with their upfront utility infrastructure cost. That is water, sewer, and sanitary and drainage, storm drainage. Now, I did not press them in terms of, well, give me an actual dollar amount, because I don't know if it's the town's even desire to go down that road, and I didn't want to get ahead of my skis to suggest that you do so. But that is one option. The other option is that you could structure the sale of the property in such a way that you are paid not up front, but you're paid as lots sell. And in doing so, you could take a security interest, a mortgage position, a second mortgage position to protect your interest, have a note be given back to you, but have you be paid as you go along. You end up being paid the same amount, but it would be paid, and that would, the effect of that reduces the upfront burden and the carrying cost that will be absorbed, coupled with what is expected to be a relatively lengthier time frame in lot absorption, lot sales to occur. I suggested that to the developer. They indicated that would be helpful, but their biggest issue is the costs of extension of water, sanitary sewer and storm sewer. I believe that what they're running into is that when they extend their sanitary sewer, water, storm sewer, they're not extending it just for the benefit of the initial section that they'd be putting in, but the initial work that they're going to do will be for the benefit of the entirety of the work in the land that they would eventually develop. I've been told, I did ask, again, without making any commitments on behalf of the town, what they've told me that their budget just for those three areas of costs is upwards around $400,000 between those three utility costs. I don't know. I think, Marilyn, if that is, if there's any interest in going down that path without making a commitment, I think it'd be appropriate to ask them for a specific proposal, because they know what your costs are. They know what you have to get out of this, and that is the average of the two appraisals. And I don't know if that is even something, or if that's something that your utilities in the town are even willing to consider.
Have to go through review, and that's all I'll say. I mean, it probably, Greg's here, it would relate to some increases in rates and whatever, I think, because we've spent the ARP money,
Sure.
and so that's not available. And the electric's already, you've already agreed to that. The extension of water, my first response would be it'd be a long time before you'd get that cost back. And Greg could do that performance evaluation for you. And the same thing for sewer. You don't have a stormwater department, so that could come out of the general fund, which is gonna be under a load. Because am I right, it can't come out of sewer, it has to come out of general. That's what it used to be, a stormwater.
No storm could come, because you're
Okay.
combined.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But we're not combined anymore, according to IDEM.
Right.
Keep
but
that
you-
point.
Yeah,
So,
but you can fund it.
okay. But
Or add it.
once again, you're gonna hear from Greg about the sewer department, but
Sure.
And Tom, before
Yes.
you would go down that, wouldn't you give it at least 2 or 3 or 4 months of cool-off period and see what the feds do rest of next year? Would you recommend?
Yes, and I'm sorry that my back
No, you're fine.
is to you.
I can move out.
It's warm here. As I said earlier, I don't think you're at a point, the town is not at a point where I think that this only becomes a real issue, as I said, in the summer of 2026. There's no, the town is incurring very little cost in owning the land. You're not paying taxes on it. The maintenance,
we are paying maintenance,
maintenance wasn't farmed this year, or,
just the one section.
okay, sure,
Because
so,
we didn't know until later that they weren't gonna build.
right, so, going into next year, you can have I would recommend to have the entire acreage farm, but I agree. I think I would I believe your best option right now is to allow time to be on your side, which means allow the market to play out. Your land, the school is not going anywhere. Its enrollment is strong. The school, the desirability of having development near or around that school is always going to remain strong. That's where a lot of your new housing has occurred historically, correct? I believe, behind the school area. And see what, just see what it looks like. I believe the market is suggesting that if you're going to bet, it's going to look better than it does today. And it's gotten a little better, notwithstanding the fact that government's been closed and there's always a side distraction going on. But the underlying dynamics are slowly trending in a good way.
So just to make clarity here, some of it may be misinterpreted. Your basic thing is to give it time
Sure,
and
sure.
move toward doing something in the summer, like in the summer.
Yeah. I would be hesitant, Marilyn, to go too quickly to the developer and make an assessment. I mean, you could quietly start assessing what it would look like if you provide any degree of incentive, for lack of a better term, with your utilities. But I would be very careful not to jump too quickly into that area, because once you do it, it's very tough to pull it back.
I guess I know that one of the reasons we wanted to work with Oakmont especially is because they were interested in providing that infrastructure, and the fact that they aren't able to right now is a little bit of a concern. So can you clarify for me, you mentioned a while back that if we don't take the average appraisal, that opens us up to, can you explain that again and clarify that?
Sure. You could, as an alternative to selling the land for no less than the average of 2 appraisals, you could provide public notice that you're willing to accept proposals, basically an RFP, if you will, request for proposal from the public, anyone, to negotiate with you and provide their best offer to buy the land and develop it on conditions that your public notice would stipulate. So there'd be a little bit of work and time needed to go through that process and develop a list of conditions that you're acceptable with. The starting ones being the conditions that the school corporation has required of you. But I think as you start thinking about it, those would probably be a minimum. That'd be your starting point. You'd probably want others to go with it. But instead of going down the path of a negotiated agreement with a developer at a sales price average of 2 appraisals, you could do that. I have no idea who would respond. We could work with you. Huntington would work, and a lot of entities would work with you to feed you names of where that proposal should go to. You're opening the door to a lot of, but it would work. It would work. Whether you get what you want or not, I don't know.
Would you clear up for the public that I think council needs to be aware of too? If nothing happens, the money comes back to the town. Because in the agreement it says after so long, the school board has to reimburse.
Correct.
So I want everybody out there hearing it, that the town won't lose the money eventually.
Correct.
And then, as I understand, the option could be to keep the back acreage but sell it. I mean, there's all kinds of options with that because it was in 2 parcels.
There are, and I don't know what the those were federal funds used to buy the land. If those come back, we'd have to look and make sure
Yeah,
that,
that Greg would have to.
that
what would you
those,
It wouldn't be an issue at
yeah.
that point in time.
they'd be laundered, so to speak, legally, in the right way, in a way that's acceptable. But I would counsel the town that I would really urge you to think about going to the school corporation first and trying to extend that 3-year period. I suspect the school corporation, I don't think they're, you know, I don't know, but I can't imagine that they would desire having this land back any more than, you know, the next person would. And it really, time, members, time has a great way, on development like this of allowing the right process to come about and present itself. And you have that time given to you under the agreement. I would counsel you to use it right now.
Tom, I have a question. So,
Sure.
What you're saying is, if Oakmont, we can't do this for this amount of money, which they agreed that they could do the infrastructure. Someone comes in and says, hey, we'll do infrastructure.
Sure.
We'll do it. We'll do it this cost, and maybe we'll do it and pay you more. We can do that. We could find that person or that developer.
Sure.
We're not bound to.
Yes, and just, it's not that they can't do the infrastructure. They can do it. It's cost. They can't do the infrastructure and then sell the land to a builder and and have that builder pay them sufficient, because the builder is driving down the price, because the builder on the builder's end is only going to, they believe they're only going to be able to sell so many lots over such a period of time in this market. And the cost of laying water, I think their pricing it's Oakmont's pricing. I suspect if we were to get into this, we're going to find that there's not a lot of difference between third parties as to what that pricing is. Now, whether you can find a builder that is willing to pay more, so that there is some level of return, reasonable return, so they're not losing money, then that, sure, you're not obligated to work with Oakmont. But that doesn't remove the equation of what's going to happen when, and yes, you're correct, Councilman, you don't have to work with Oakmont.
And the extension, they're talking at 400,000. I think you as council have to realize that's gonna cost you a lot more, because you're gonna pay to have it engineered. That's gonna be a big issue there. And the IDEM permits and all that stuff would come back to the council. So just an alert that 400,000 that they're saying, there would be additional cost to the town because of that, because you'd be in charge of that.
You could.
Oh, I know what the engineer charges.
Well, no, I would, if you were to go down that path, I would have Oakmont
Oh, well, if that
engineer,
works, yeah,
permit, and then you reimburse them
yeah.
after you have inspected and accepted the infrastructure.
Granted, and that's if they agree. Yeah.
Yes, and that, I don't think, having you take over the project, that just adds to the cost and time. I wouldn't do that. If you're even willing to entertain that at some point, you agree upon what amount you'd be willing to reimburse, have them do the work, and then you reimburse them at such time as the work's done. You've inspected it and accepted it as well. You're not going to pay someone for any work until you've accepted the work.
You can't.
That's right, you
You can't
can't
by state law.
anyways. So,
I'm curious what Greg's input is on this. You have any thoughts on it, other than the waiting period? But after we wait and we're like, okay, next spring we need to be in discussion, and if things haven't changed much.
Well, I totally agree with Tom. I believe you ought to do is come spring, send it out for RFP and say, you've got this many of acres, this is what your covenants are, this is what you'd like to see, and send it out to the world. I think we'd also want to check with the engineer if we're doing water and sewer project at the same time. Maybe we can buy the pipe, discounted price or at a better price. And we did, we already said we would do the electric, so that takes it out of the equation. And so I think then you're also showing the school good faith in that you're trying. But I think the climate, they were even talking 50-year mortgages today. And, 50's too long, but 30's too short, maybe. So the world is going to change within the next 6 months. I'm hearing positive things on the cost of construction, maybe not being ludicrous like it's been, maybe below ludicrous. And so, all of those things, and you've got time, and I agree with Tom, time kind of has a way of helping you. And so, by all means, I would, all systems go, maybe second quarter when things have happened, get your RFP ready.
And so we essentially wouldn't be taking that 13,000 per acre. It's whatever we want to be selling it for then, essentially.
Correct.
But
A package.
that could go towards the infrastructure then. Correct? Is that the plan, is to take that money?
You
that
could,
we're
or
making?
you could indicate at the time that you send out your RFP, you could indicate to anyone who's willing to respond that you're willing to, as part of their proposal to you, that you're willing to reimburse them up to X amount of dollars for approved, accepted, water improvement or sanitary sewer or work that's done on the project.
And Tom, I don't know if you know IAC 171, I think it is, where you said that if we're going to put in, let's say, 200,000 worth of extensions for water and sewer, but it's going to benefit the back part, there's ways to then maybe enter into a recapture agreement.
Correct.
Yeah, so that can be recaptured by the next developer.
Right.
If it was. So, yeah, so there's some ways.
And on top of that, you're gaining ratepayers.
Yes, that's the key.
That, and
Without
increasing,
giving away.
right, and increasing tax base and, everything that you wanted to do in the first instance.
So I take it from the council moving forward, their decision will have to be to put it on hold for now and move forward in a few months. Just to clarify to the public and everybody that.
I would recommend that you continue to allow this to be held. It's November. I would recommend that you look at this perhaps in March or April of next year, and communicate to Oakmont that at that point in time, if circumstances haven't changed, that it's your intent to begin the process of going down the route of an RFP. Now, they can participate in the RFP, but so can everyone else. And you do not have to accept anyone. You can choose to decline any responses to if you end up going down that.
So, Tom, if I
Yes.
may, they have formally withdrawn. Do we have to formally recognize their withdrawal
Well,
before we open it?
we drafted a purchase agreement at your direction, and we were never able to secure their signature to it. So, so I don't think anything formal has to be done. And to your point, Councilman, you're free today. You're free to negotiate if you think there's somebody else that would be interested. Oakmont has told me that they talked to Lancia Homes in Fort Wayne and Granite Ridge, and they don't believe that those two, especially Lancia, was direct. But again, that was 3 months ago. Another 4 months is, I think that can mean a lot.
So does council have to take action, or tonight, or do they just let it?
If you would take any action, I'd recommend that if you take any action, it would be that you're going to have this matter penned for another
4 months.
4 months. Yes, and then we can revisit then.
But we'll reach out to Oakmont first to see
Sure.
if they're interested in continuing negotiations.
We could, sure.
And then,
Sure. I mean, ideally, what I'm hopeful is that as the spring thaw comes along next year, is they're going to reach out to you if the market changes. I cannot overemphasize the ability for interest rates just to nudge down below 6% into 5.5 to 5 3/4 will have a tremendous effect in Northeast Indiana. Tremendous effect on home sales. It's just been stubbornly high at that point. So, okay.
So back to my question, do they need to
Motion
act
or
or just
anything?
let it ride? That's what I'm saying, do they
we need
need
to
to?
make a motion to say we're gonna wait.
I don't see a harm in making a motion in that, especially, this your last,
Yeah.
I'd make a motion for the
Okay,
benefit
that's all I'm
of,
asking.
yeah, I'd make a motion, and that way Maryland's successor will have a record as to what was, yeah.
I can make a motion.
So your matter is to have it pending for 4 months.
For 4 months, yeah, is that March? Yeah.
Is there a second?
Or November.
I'll second.
Ron? Okay, Ron,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
and Steve.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you,
you.
members.
Brings us back to you, Mr. Garatoz.
To the stormwater? Okay, perfect, thank you. So, as you know, when we talked about this a month or so ago, we wanted to start kind of putting together a draft, and you have the initial budget and rates draft in front of you, it's my understanding. And what we did is, basically, if you look at the letter, we have put in here 2 versions. One version where we capped the maximum for the non-residential at 50, and the second option was at 250. You could choose anywhere in between. I told you, I think New Haven, we did 250, we just did 250 in Crown Point, Indiana too. And so, as you know, we were looking at, or I threw out a preliminary 5, but we've recommended $6 for all residential units. So even if you have a rich and famous home that's 5,000 square feet, it would still be $6. If you have, a very, very small home, 1,000 square feet, it would still be $6. The average that we found in the study is that approximately a home was, I believe, we came up with around 20, yeah, it's on page 3, 2,070 square feet. So that, and you have approximately 587 units. Again, Marilyn, I don't know if you've had a chance to review all this, but subject to your approval. And so what we came up with on page 1, that would give us a preliminary budget of 62 or 67,000 in revenue per year, which at this point seemed like a number that might get some things done. Okay, we'd like to say, you know, everybody's looking at updating their waters and their sewers and their stormwaters because of Senate Bill 1. They're going to lose so much tax revenue that that's what AIM is going around supporting on saying you really need to get your water and stormwater. And here we're just trying to establish the stormwater. Okay, so we felt this was a good level that, you know, then we might be able to do a few things. We can't take a lot of town cost and allocate it to the stormwater. There wouldn't be too much to do here, you know, with 67,000 per annum. But that could help a little bit. You could take some, like council salary now, divided by 1/4 or 1/5, you know, something like that. But we'd rather see it plowed into making stormwater improvements. And, you know, as well as I do, we heard it here, $400,000. It takes a while to get some money. So we wanted to get this back to you on page 2. Then if we set the maximum at $250, then what you see is we would be dealing with approximately 82,000. And the difference there, we would automatically take on page 2 and put it in the capital reserve. So you don't have an ordinance, you don't have a stormwater fund, you don't have a stormwater depreciation fund. All of those things would need to be done. You could go ahead and reseed it in the wastewater utility under 36-9, but that's where we would need your attorney to help. And so that makes it easier, and then you could use it, you know, from that standpoint. But that's up to you as we go forward. But that really kind of sums up where we are. And if you know, we included all the gory details on page 6, 7 of all the large users, and then we put together initial Form 1 for the budget and just suggested some categories. And as you can see back there on page 11, 30,000 per pay as you go. That's where I want the bulk of the money. I think that, and why I want that is, what I'm saying is that's where I'm suggesting to the town, because that's where you're going to need your dollars. Okay.
Greg, question for you.
Yes.
$6 you're referring to, $6 per bill, correct?
Per bill, per
$6 a
month.
month. Okay.
Yes.
And then second question is, for clarity, is we don't have to do this. We want to do this. Is that correct?
The theater is coming down and down and down to more cities and towns, but yes, you're not under a federal mandate.
It's not a mandate.
Right. Well, yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
So, can you give, like, so it's going toward, when you say capital projects, is this only if we establish a stormwater fund? What, you had mentioned that we were combined, but we're not combined by an item anymore with
That's
sewer.
a mood issue. He was making the point that we're combined, and the stormwater is causing infiltration in the sewer.
So we could use this
Yes,
for
your
improving
infiltration.
our sewer.
Yes.
So it could potentially go towards a sewer expansion then, or no, not really? Like if we need to be doing the
It
project that
could,
Ben's
but
bringing up.
elimination of the I&I and diverting the stormwater to the storm. I mean, didn't we remember we found a big stormwater thing out here? And so if you divert it, we call it buying back capacity. Anytime you eliminate I&I, it's cheaper than building new, okay? And so this could go to eliminating I&I. Therefore, I would say indirectly, Michelle, it is, or directly, it's impacting.
Okay.
Okay, because anytime you can eliminate water, the better off you are.
Okay.
So,
And then for like the businesses, like obviously $6 per a single home, but the businesses that have multiple, and some of them are maxed at $50, for those, is that something that you can work with to balance that so that it's not like $150 or $300 more, for
sure,
business?
so the max would be 50 or
Yes.
250.
But,
Okay, so
but that's-
that is balancing it.
but that's so if we set it at 50, that's per bill though, right? So like Heritage
That's
Point.
per month.
Per month. So like Heritage Point would pay however many are on there. I don't know how many were on there. They would pay multiple
Oh,
bills though.
Okay,
They
See what I'm
only
saying?
have, one water bill, so they would only pay $50 or whatever, if that's what you go with.
yeah, I don't think we were going by parcel.
Okay, that's what I wasn't sure. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
like Deweese's, they have multiple, Citizens, they have multiple. I was looking through and I noticed that they have multiple, so I wasn't sure if they would just be capped at 50 or they would pay each one of those.
Yeah, we did not assume 30 times 50 at this point in time in this initial budget, and it is going to be how you write the ordinance.
Okay, so we have some flexibility there. If we wanted
Absolutely.
to.
Yeah, because our goal is not to run anybody out of business,
Right.
but our goal is if you are causing a tremendous amount of water impact, let's face it, that's all the people downstreams, they're talking about flooding. That's because people have all the pavement and all the surfaces up, and they're just sending it down quicker, down the river. So, the larger the area, the larger the impact.
Right.
We're trying to mitigate and not make it 30 times 50 or 30 times 250 at this point.
And the thing about Citizens, though, not all of so how would it work? Because not all their businesses would be over whatever the equivalent dwelling unit size. How does that, because like it's a storage unit. So does that count as a residential unit, or is it $50 is what she's asking?
Well, a storage unit would be $50. It's commercial. It's
commercial.
not
Anything
non-residential.
commercial. Okay, anything
It's
commercial.
non-residential,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
That's what, we don't categorize it so much as industrial, like the other utilities, industrial, commercial, and that it's non-residential or residential. That just cuts it clean.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how everybody pretty much does it.
Okay.
So what we wanted to do is get you some numbers, get some of this feedback, and, hear any concerns or whatever, and, say, I know we've been talking about it for several years, or maybe even longer, but we won't go there. But the answer is that, getting something established at a very reasonable rate and then going from there. And not that, there's been a lot of places we've had the $6 and they haven't changed it.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean it's going to change annually either. So. So other questions, numbers you might want to see, anything we can do to help you?
I don't have any.
My main one is just more for businesses and understanding what that impact is for them. So. Oh, was the Civic Center on this? Did I miss that?
Was
Yeah,
what?
it's on
It's
there.
under like Warren Inc. instead of
Warning.
Okay.
KBC.
Okay.
We went by the parcel listings, not your
Billing.
ledger, so to speak,
Right.
billing ledger.
Because how do other towns handle something like that, where it's not really I mean, the Civic Center, they're not really a business necessarily that they're making a lot of income off of. How do,
Well, I like to
Or
use the
churches,
example
yeah.
that Fort Wayne passed an ordinance and believes that it rains less on churches.
okay,
And so they get a reduced rate.
that's what I was curious about.
And so, you know, there are those options. I thought it kind of, when it rains, it pours all over everybody. But if you can make a,
Right.
justification in your ordinance, there's nothing that prohibits. Again, I'm the CPA, I'm not the attorney, assuming the attorney would find, it's not a problem.
Is there anyone that does any kind of adjustments for not-for-profits?
I guess that's what I was thinking more of, like not-for-profits.
I'd have to
churches
review.
and things.
Because
Okay.
I know the churches, especially the Church of Christ that I attend, there's a heck of a lot of impervious surfaces is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It includes parking lots and everything.
So I guess I did say Fort Wayne does give a
Okay.
discount
Okay.
for it, yes.
They do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and that one they've been doing for quite a while.
And I know Jeremy brought up one time about the, I won't even go there. Let's just say that one reason this stalled before was because of the churches,
Mm, okay.
of what to do about that. So I think he's answered that pretty well.
Yeah.
Like the Boys and Girls Club, that's part of,
That would be a not-for-profit.
they would be a not-for-profit.
Yeah, and Michelle and Marilyn, when you say the word not-for-profit, it's a big difference in the city of Crown Point or the city of Fort Wayne, city of New Haven versus Warren, Indiana.
Yeah.
Your
Just a
not-for-profits are motherhood and apple pie, okay? There's a lot of not-for-profits that where the director makes more than all of us combined. And, so they become, you gotta watch it when you define a term
Okay.
in the locale you're in. And I'm gonna say, that's why it went down to not for profits, it was specific to churches.
Okay.
And then,
Yeah, Luther and Parkview are not.
Pardon me?
Luther and Parkview are
Not
not
for
for
profit,
profit.
right?
Right, bingo,
Okay.
They do all right.
yeah.
Luther. They-
For profit?
Yeah.
So it's up to you. Do you want to proceed with preparing an ordinance? Are you going to accept it? This is, now you talked about it a month or two ago already. Do we drop it, or what do you want to do?
I'm really torn on this one.
Why?
We've done a lot of, obviously, rate increases, which are necessary, but I'm just trying to, balance it with businesses and balance it with another increase. Is it something that, looking at increases this next year, sewer's coming, right?
Yes.
And so, how much is that compared to this, and is this something that you would do at the beginning of the year? Would we do it July 1st? Is there a way
Well,
to?
you probably could not get the ordinance and everything in effect for January 1. So probably it would be, and what we've done in some places is we've passed the ordinance and said, we'll make it effective 3 months from now, okay? But remember, I'm going to go back to when we started visiting utilities again, everybody said, well, it's been a while. Well, yeah, it's not that we haven't brought it up. We brought up the wastewater several years ago. And so time will fly on you very, very fast.
Right.
And infrastructure below the ground hasn't gotten any cheaper. It's gone up astronomically. Okay? And I was even amazed when we found that great big vault I don't know if you all know
Some
about
of them
it.
probably
Yeah,
don't.
and that we didn't have a way to even address it with stormwater revenues at that point in time. And
And
so,
that still exists too, because we didn't have,
We
yeah,
have
I'm
funds to
thinking there
fix
may
it.
be more.
Oh, boy.
what's scary.
So there are things identified in our town that we could automatically put this to use to improve that are directly storm related.
And try and
stormwater
be,
related.
again, gradual with all of your increases that you have to do, but you can't just stop not doing anything because those costs are not getting cheaper.
Right.
So that's where, I think balancing it as best we can.
Right.
I apologize. I hope you'll be back soon. So.
Is it when we move forward with? I guess I'm the only one talking tonight. Maybe I don't know if anyone else wants to have a conversation with me. Sorry if I'm talking too much, guys.
Well, ask your questions. I'm here.
Yeah, this is. I guess that's why I'm curious if we go through and with starting the process of an ordinance. Is it something that if we get that out there, we can look a little bit more at those numbers for businesses, just so that they're aware and they know what's coming.
So
There has to be a public hearing.
Well, I mean, in the public hearing, but just kind of to get an input from them to see if they feel like, yeah, man, that's manageable, or no, we're gonna. Not that it's a ton.
well, these
but-
are awful manageable numbers at
Right.
this point in time.
right.
For the
Compared
most
to-
part, I would say.
okay.
And so, you would have your draft, you would discuss the draft, and then, yes, you set for public hearing, and there's time to address those issues. But, even in most places, $250 per commercial entity per month isn't that bad.
Right.
But if it is, 50 is even better.
Right. Okay.
Okay, and again, if we decided, we wanted it to be 35 or 75, and then we also did this recently, we said it would go up $5 per month over the next, or $5 per year over the next 3 years on the commercial. So,
And I feel like that seems, I guess that's kind of what I'm leaning towards, more
Yeah.
of a lower number that we can work towards versus a like smack in the face, like here's our.
yeah, so we could
Amount.
go 35 and with a $5 increase over the next,
Yeah.
$5 each year over the next 3 years. And then it gives the smaller businesses time to budget,
Right.
so to speak.
Okay.
But again, 5 times 12 is $60. That would be quite manageable, I would think.
Right.
And again, the alternative is
There's
then
nothing.
sewer rates will have to triple, because we're going to have
cover
to.
stormwater,
Yeah,
too.
we're going to have to address the I-9.
So those are going to go up, and that's I mean that's a valid point. So it's going to go up one way or another, whether it's your sewer or whether it's an additional stormwater.
I'll
It's
call your
just-
attention to Heritage Point with their I&I problem that cost the sewer department quite a bit. So it's one of those things that sort of,
Right.
you can either separate it or the sewer department can keep paying for those things that it really,
I mean, we've had to fix drains, right?
exactly.
them. And that
Exactly,
was
well,
part
think
of our-
about out here when they came in and ran the dye test and everything.
Right.
You have an infiltration problem,
Okay.
and right now the sewer's picking up projects that should be stormwater projects.
Okay.
And an FYI on moving back to the electric, we have that fixed contract now with Wolverine that's escalating from 35. But I'm hearing from Duke and all these other, the capacity market was $70 to $100 in the last market. And so that is now, again, twice to 3 times what we locked in at. So as the data centers or baby data centers now come up, the capacity market in PJM just recently was not good at all. sometimes, that you went ahead and locked in and enacted, and maybe that'll get better if, we create these small nuclear reactors in your backyard. We need your backyard. And, then that might get better. But at this point in time, wise decision on your part already. It shows.
Just looking. Okay.
So sometimes, in this case, waiting doesn't play for you.
Right. Well, I was just curious what we felt like the sewer, I mean, since this is, it would be
Yeah.
going up sewer would mean increase more versus,
Yeah.
You know when
Splitting
the
that.
last rate increase was in sewer? Do you know when the last 2015?
no, that's what I was gonna ask when we were,
Yeah.
2015,
that, and
because
so-
it's always been pushed aside.
Soon be 11 years.
In
Yeah.
2021, I think, is when we recommended 17%
Yeah.
increase, and we didn't do it because it was tough times
Right.
at that point in time.
Well,
So-
and your other, the rate increase you're talking about is $5 in electric, which is a godsend because our finances. And the other was in water because of an emergency situation. So it's not like the inference that we're just raising rates.
right.
It's to raise the rates to match what RF was demanding, so that we could get a emergency grant or emergency loan, was a very definite reason. It wasn't that, and I will say, and our rates are very much lower than many. Because we hear in the office, they come in and their total bill for electric, water, sewer, and trash is $170. And Roanoke is going to have $100 and over per customer because they haven't done anything for years.
I mean, St. Joe Spencerville went to 120.
Yeah.
Shipshewana is going up.
Well,
They're $20 million in their plan. And so, again, it has gotten cheaper.
Okay.
If it's below the ground or above the ground in its utility, it's dying quick.
Well, then good, maybe we can sell some more lots out here
Yeah.
with the development.
Well,
Yeah.
and if you
Lure
think
them in
about
with lower
it,
rates.
Yeah.
as long as it's been kicked down the road, think what you could have had in your utility. So if you as a council kick it on, I believe as you've talked about, or no, who was it? You said kicking.
Tavis.
You keep kicking the can down the road, it's not gonna get any better.
Right.
So I think the next step would be if the council sees proper to get the attorney to draft the ordinance.
Okay.
And then we can mold and shape that with any concerns that you hear or feedback you get. And then Ron will tackle it, and have a bunch of questions and.
I won't say anything next time. I'll just be completely silent. No.
But I think Ron and Steve, I mean, you understand where we're coming from. And, again, trying to really take into account the ratepayer all along.
Yeah.
But stalling off the
The
big
balance.
one
Yeah.
wouldn't be the best thing to do.
Right. Nope. I think that's why I said I'm not against it. I just
Sure.
grappling with it. So
So is
I
there a
appreciate the
motion?
questions. To draft an
Have
ordinance?
an ordinance drafted.
Sure, I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Do you have sample? Or
We
we're gonna
can
get,
assist your attorney.
Oh, thank you very much.
Once you tell us which attorney it is.
Mike Hartberg.
Okay, well, Mike usually hands it.
Yeah. Okay. There'll need to be a vote, Ron.
Yes.
Yes.
Whatever your name is, Michelle.
Yeah.
Steve,
Yes.
and that would be Ruth and Ariane, so, okay.
Well, thank you, and that's all I
Thank you.
have. Do you need me for other things?
Yeah, you have the report on the
Cell tower?
cell tower.
Oh, yeah, perfect. You're right.
I'll help you there.
Yeah. So, we put together October 15th, and it may be great that Jeremy's back, because I'm sure he loves our present value. This one, we ultimately said, if you can keep the lease and have the escalation clauses that you have, that's awesome. You know, and if you boil it down to the numbers, and you boil down on page 1, that keeping the lease going forward is more valued even on a real dollar versus a present value dollar than what was offered by AT&T up front. Okay? Also, on the other one, we did the same calculation, and you can see that on a real dollar and a present value dollar, it's quite a bit above what they offered you up front. So, you know, now, I can't help if you say, you know, you love money up front, and that's the way you want to go, and I'm assuming, again, if the tower falls down, you don't have to replace it.
Not true. When we went through this several
So
years.
I didn't take those concepts.
When we went through this several years ago and took a close look at it, this is just an offer. And when they offered the contract, what it boiled down to, we had to, if the tower came down, we still had to provide a place for their equipment. So, so this, I just want to tell you that this is only their offer. And there's other things that'll be in that contract. But anyway, and the AT&T lease is firm money every time, and it makes about $48,000 a year in revenue to the water utility right now. Because it's 36 something.
It's right here on page 1.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I'll look at it. Anyway,
12
months, yeah.
And-
So
and
it's a revenue that will continue on
Right. Versus just
versus one big
one big
sum
sum.
and
Right.
you spend it and then it's gone and there's no, this is me as a financial officer, then there's no income
right.
coming in.
And again, we made no assessment, tower falls down and you have to replace it.
Yeah,
You know, my assumption would be, at some point in time, you probably would not have a contract if you did not replace it.
the tower was built in '94, so it already has age on it. So in 30 years, you may have to put in a new tower, or it might follow. I think they put their new antennas up already, haven't
Yeah,
they?
they're in the process of doing it.
Yeah.
And they reinforced each leg of the
Yeah,
tower.
they came in and worked on the tower itself.
Okay.
AT&T did.
Okay.
Now, the one I think is the MD7 says they're an agent of AT&T. They're not AT&T. That's a little bit misleading there. These come through occasionally. It won't be the last time you'll have this to look at.
Well, I think this is a pretty clear indication of what we can make versus what
Yes,
they're offering.
it
And
sure is.
It's kind of a given to me.
The one contract, the first contract I got from one of the companies was 99 years. And I simply said, that's not going to happen. And so then they came back with a better offer. Who was that? It was back to 35 years. I don't even remember. But this is what these people do. I mean, but and they said, well, it won't impact on the tower or whatever. It will, because just like AT&T, our contract with AT&T is for a certain, they've leased 9 spots. And then when you look at these contracts, you're out of the picture because this company will negotiate with AT&T and you're sort of out of the picture.
Okay.
But they
That's
did,
really fabulous that they strengthened the legs and stuff like
yeah,
that.
that's what I say.
At their
And that's
own cost.
AT&T, and these companies are not AT&T.
So do we need to make a motion on that?
Yes, you do, so I can get these guys a quick call
Do I make a motion?
or somebody.
I make a motion that we stay with AT&T.
I'll second.
Okay, Ron,
Yes.
Jeremy,
I'll abstain on this one, I didn't see all of it.
pardon me?
I'll abstain on this one.
Could you say that louder so it'll be on
Yeah. I'll abstain on this one, I didn't see all of it.
the, okay.
Yes.
And Steve?
Yes.
Okay, I'll be glad to let them know.
Well, I can pull something out of my folder here. What else do I need?
Let me see what we Actually, you've
You
been
get down
on
the
mine
bowling
for
green.
several minutes now, so. Okay, that's good to know. Any other? We'll get it underway.
See you again next year.
Absolutely.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Yes.
It
yeah.
snowed, so it's close enough to
You
Christmas.
know, it is coming quick, isn't it?
Yes.
So,
That's great.
and we'll work with Maryland and get that, we did the RDC before this. Council doesn't need, we gave the report, the presentation, and the spending plan, but we'll work with Maryland to get that uploaded. It's not a big deal, and, stay tuned for Fast and Furious 26. And remember, at this point in time, in 28, you lose your income taxes.
Yeah.
So also, Michelle, that pot of money called edit at this point in time is scheduled to go away.
And that's what you call seed it here.
See it, okay.
Yeah, seated that is.
I've warned them several times.
Yes.
So-
Yes.
So that's why AIM and everybody is saying, please keep all of your other houses in order.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get that ever again, you're gonna have to play damage control.
I can share with you and the public, and I've shared with the council already, we stand to lose about $399,000, which is almost as much as we take in property taxes.
Yeah,
Because our levy is $480.
yeah. And I've done the study for Hancock, Hendricks, Monroe, county-wide, and it's really going to be hard for the county to set a level that is compensatory with what you're at versus what somebody else is at, and there's a lot of diversity. So I am also coining the phrase, SB2 is coming to a theater near you, and it is, and hopefully that will correct SB1. I'm not sure it's going to boil down to affect small towns yet, but the big dogs they're waging a war. And there was the state house in general said, well, financial advisors are going around, saying it's doomsday. Well, they're, right now with SB1, it isn't real good. So the answer is no, everybody just needs to be aware. And like I said, but SB2 will come to a theater near you. And hopefully it'll be better.
Okay.
So stay tuned.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thanks, Greg.
And for the record, this is not my coat.
It's not that ugly, is it?
Same color.
Same color, yeah. I should have brought the black FSG coat. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Citizens comment.
See you.
Something real quick.
Fire away.
Okay, okay, all these years, I live in the country and I always thought the recycling center here in town was just for the town residents. It's for the whole Huntington County, right?
Right.
Okay, I did not know that. And a lot of people think that they can't use that.
Oh,
because
no, they don't. Dustin,
no.
how much recycling do we take in?
I know, but there's a lot of people in the country who think that it's just for
Oh,
the
they
town
come from the
people.
country.
Yeah, that's
They
why I
come-
want to make sure it's
Yeah,
clear.
I understand what you're saying, but no, there's
Yeah.
a lot of people from Wells County, from all over.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I didn't know
Yeah.
that, and until recently I
Yeah.
went to a commissioners meeting and they said that, and I thought, what? Here we are, we're not using it because I'm taking mine to Wells County.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I just want to make sure it's clear that everyone knows
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Okay.
Go ahead and take it to Wells County.
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Oh,
Tuesdays,
good.
They get kind of full.
it fills
Yeah,
up.
I was shocked when they said that that nothing's marked, and they go someplace and people sort that stuff.
Yeah.
I thought maybe like a plastic, a cardboard, and newspaper bin, but no, it's not.
No, it's all mixed up.
Yeah. So,
I didn't want
okay.
that job of sorting.
I wouldn't want it either. 'Cause I just want to make sure that
Okay.
the county people know that too, so.
Police department?
Tracy, where are you going?
Tap it out.
Tracy.
off.
Anything else, Dennis?
I'm sure Pro Maryland's informed you of Austin's possible deployment in April, so that's something we probably.
Oh, in April?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought it was June.
no,
So it's
April.
April.
So that's something we probably need to discuss, how we're gonna remedy that or prepare for that instead of being behind the ball, ahead of the ball.
Have I already talked, did we talk about that? Because I have.
It
worked
was
with
brought
them.
up that you knew, we
Yeah,
thought 6
HR.
months.
Yeah,
6 months.
6
But-
months. And that would have to be something that's written up, as I shared with you before, when they've been called to National Guard. The council's always made up the difference between guard pay and town pay. I worked with Annette, I think I told you guys this, Annette, and I have the paperwork that you'll have to go through. He'll be on military insurance, so that'll drop, but as I told you before, you may have to look at another officer, which is going to be a big impact on your budget.
How do they usually replace, or how do they put someone on temporary like that?
They don't.
They don't put a police officer on temporary like that we can,
I mean, you could supplement with part-time, but we don't have the part-time staff to do it.
right?
That's another discussion we probably need to have is part-time pay.
Mm-hmm.
Our regular one, that Glenn that works for us, he makes $30 an hour compared to 20 here over at Andrews. So
Mhm.
Andrews gets first bid
Right.
on his free time. So
Okay.
that's another thing we'll have to talk about. I mean, you could probably supplement with part-time, but you're not going to have the coverage.
Right.
I think the full-time would be probably due.
Mhm.
Mark was going for potential 4. They've had 3 for 10 years, 3 full-time officers. And we've all seen, their pay and things like that. So
Okay.
we've talked about 3. I was supposed to be a third 25 years ago. So COPS grant, early 2000s, said we could do 3, but and actually we're given a grant for it, but we decided not to participate in that grant.
Okay. Are there still grants available like that, or no?
There
not
was a
really?
COPS, but it is.
Not
Not
really.
anymore. Okay.
Anything
Okay.
else, Dennis?
No, that's all I have.
Thanks.
Oh, you have your, Lee submitted your fire department report, and he had nothing else to tell you. The truck seems to be on here.
Online
Yeah, for
or
early
already
next year
on
payment.
status.
Mhm.
Utility street manager.
You should have my report. I'll look that over, I guess, and I'll hand you out some paperwork asking to spend money. Both our wastewater and water labs are in need of some equipment. This is a quote from Hawk, who provides good lab equipment. Water department needs a new chlorine tester. So that first page, there's 2 options as far as the tester goes. The DR900, which is more costly, it'll test about 80 parameters. So, which we do also test iron at the plant. If you look at the DR300, it's a lot less cost. That only tests chlorine. So we'd like to purchase the DR900, and then.
You know this is all Greek to us, right?
Well, it's just a tester that.
I know.
We need to test the chlorine. The testers we have now are 15 years old. or older,
Antiquated.
and they are non-serviceable anymore,
Right.
so to speak. So we'd like to purchase that first item there, DR900, that has all those extra parameters that can be tested, and then with that, a service plan, line 6, and then the other things I highlighted there as well. The standard gel packs, those help with collaboration,
So are the things highlighted what you?
what we'd
want?
like to purchase for the water.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha. So the total down here is not the, I just
That's
wanted them to know
not-
that's not the
total that
correct
up.
total, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I will say in both the water and sewer, the wastewater also, it's been some time since any lab equipment's been updated. Right, correct.
yeah, it's been a while.
I think it's time.
But again, it wouldn't be what's listed, it would be almost 2,000 on it.
Are there two different equipments in the wastewater? I'm seeing two.
So if we look at the wastewater, our dissolved oxygen meter is malfunctioning, and so we need to replace that. Hawk has supplied a price for two different pieces of equipment. On line 2 of that first page is their benchtop meter that only has one single probe, which would be fine for us. But if you look on page 3, line number 1 is a meter that is the same as line 1 on page of that first page there, but that's a demo unit, so it's only about $150 more. And what that unit can do is we can also have two plugs to insert different probes to do 2 different tests. So I guess if I had to choose between those, I would prefer to buy the demo that's on that last page, and then the service plan, which is line 3 of that second page.
Okay. So line 1 on page 3, line 3 on page 2,
Correct.
and then everything on page
Everything's highlighted on page 1 again.
Yeah.
Sorry I didn't get totals for you.
I think it's important to keep those updated, so.
What do we need for that?
With the service plans, then, you know, that we could have them regularly tested for, make sure they're working properly.
I will make a motion.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Ron?
Yes.
Jeremy?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
And you?
Yes.
If you go to page 2 of my report, I'd like to integrate a GIS system where we can kind of map out our utilities and just have digital records of all the work that we do. There's 2 companies I've been in talks with. First one listed is iWork. They're a company based out of Utah. I don't know how this guy got our number, but he's been talking to me for the last month and a half. But they offer this system software. It's an annual cost of $5,000, and it will do a lot of things as far as your work management, all your utility management. So if you can locate stuff and you can keep records of inspections, maintenance, the work management part of it. I could, you know, if something, or even if the office staff, they have a ticket that wants to be read, they can just punch it in there on the website, and then everybody who has an account on that will get a notification, and then we can go do that. It's kind of like a paperless type thing. Plant facility asset management, just kind of keeping track of all the assets at both the water and wastewater plants. But basically how you do that, you just use anything with a smartphone or a tablet. You can access the website and enter information through that. Like I said, again, that's iWork out of Utah. I guess he told me the city of Plainfield has that, and they're very happy with it. He reduced his price after I told him I talked to another company. It was that first quote there. It was $5,500 a year, then like $3,000 something to set up. But he reduced it to just $5,000 a year, yearly. The other company I talked to was Silversmith. I talked to them in Fort Wayne. Both Markle and Van Buren have this software, and it almost does the same thing, except for they provide you with a tablet and a GPS device. And the first year is a little more expensive because you have to buy that equipment, but after that you have an annual cost of $27.40. This company is based out of Michigan, I believe, but I feel like they might be more, they use that system with small towns, I think, more often. And like I said, Markle and Van Buren have it, so I did go to Van Buren and see their system, and it seemed very simple to use and very similar to the iWork program. But all this to say that if we have a GIS system, it will definitely help with keeping records of things, because right now everything's on a paper map somewhere, and any work that was done, someone might have a picture of it somewhere on a cell phone, or it's wrote down in a spiral notebook that's from 1990. So.
And I
Try
think
to
you
get up to date.
introduced us to
Maybe.
what the iWork last month,
Right.
and
And
I
I
knew it
told
was
the guy-
something beneficial.
And I told the guy that I want to talk to another company because I knew there was
Yeah.
other communities that use that. So
What is your opinion between the two, or?
they both look great. I mean, if you look at the cost in the long run, Silversmith's going to be cheaper because you just have that bigger upfront cost, but annually it's going to be a lot less. So I do like the idea of knowing people that have that same software that I can reach out to for help.
Yeah.
What about
the iWork program? I wrote on there, they have webinars, every year, so you can learn more about it, and online videos. So I think either one would be great.
Did they say anything about I know you the iPad and the data plan and all that stuff? Like, will they update the iPad then over the years? Do you know? Is that included in that, or is that going to be on us then too? Like, do we have to use the iPad, or can we use other devices and stuff too?
I mean, I think we could probably, if our iPad takes a crap, then we could probably upgrade it ourselves.
Okay.
Basically, it's just using a website or Chrome or any maybe an internet browser.
And this is something that's definitely valuable, not only to you guys in the field, but like in the office, you said they can pull up a ticket.
Yeah, this will sync with the system that I'm going to recommend that the software be updated to. This will sync right with that.
So both of them will, or the Silversmith?
I don't know about the other Silversmith because I haven't contacted them, but I imagine either one would.
Okay.
Because in the software I'm going to recommend, it also issues work orders and whatever and whatever.
Awesome.
It's good to see in 2025 we're getting away from the spiral notebook.
Yeah.
It's probably wise.
So is there a motion?
I'll make a motion for Silversmith.
I'll second.
I don't know why I did.
And I mean, as long as it'll work with that software, I mean, I guess
Yeah, I guess that's
if
the
you
thing.
feel that,
Well, I don't know because I don't
guess
know how, but even if it doesn't, it'll make it easier for them.
right, it'll make it easier
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah, I mean,
And I will say over the years, it's been a problem that we don't have GIS mapping.
Right. Oh, yeah, I knew that was brought up
Yeah.
last.
And that is going to soon be a requirement
Yeah.
as far as
Right.
asset management.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Ron?
Yes.
Jeremy?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
And Steve?
Yes.
That's all I have.
Thanks, Dustin.
Thank you.
Okay, the redevelopment commission report, you're now acting as council. Before you acted as redevelopment. So you need to accept the report from the redevelopment commission. The motion?
I'll make a motion.
Apparently nobody else is.
Second.
Moving along today.
Okay, the motion is to accept the report from the redevelopment commission.
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Mhm. Jeremy?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
And Steve?
Yes.
Remind you that the Veterans Park dedication is tomorrow. I am not going to be able to do that, so Ron has stepped
Yes,
in.
I
I
will
appreciate that.
Step in on that.
Next is the sale of the trailer. And you have two quotes here. This is,
What's that?
there you go. Oh, did you want me to open it too?
Go ahead and open.
This quote or bid is for $300.
And we have a bid from Dylan Farr of $400.
That's interesting. So 300, 400. So which I would,
The 400.
yeah.
It's Dylan's.
A motion.
I'll make a move.
I'll second that.
Thanks,
I'll second that.
somebody take it.
Hey, throw me up there.
Yeah.
Moved and seconded. Ron?
Yes.
Jeremy?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go, Dustin. You won't have that thing sitting around now. New business, as As always, I would ask you to move the meeting up until the 15th so we can get all the bills paid and everything taken care of as late in the month as possible. Does that work for everybody?
Yes.
I believe so. Double check.
It is the first day of Hanukkah.
It's the first day of Lent?
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah, Lent, jeez.
Yes, that
We're
works
good.
for me.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
good with
so
that.
that will be moved to the 15th.
It works for me too.
Pardon me?
It works for me too.
I still don't.
It works for him.
It
too.
works.
Next, you have in your packet, this is for ad hoc electric engineering contract, this with the Spectrum and Intrust. And this has a lot to do with Heritage Point and their changes, and we don't have any way to understand what they're asking us. So I'm gonna call them Spectrum because that's what we know it as. When I talked to them, they called it an ad hoc, where it's not to exceed 5,000, but it gives Dustin the right to call them and talk to them and whatever. It's beyond what anybody here could have ever done. So in some of the projections and everything, I think it's a valuable tool. And Spectrum has done all our reports for our electric utility.
Okay.
Any questions or a motion?
Have we had this before with them or
Yes,
someone else?
we've always used Spectrum. Spectrum knows our whole system. That was the point, that they know the whole system. They've done all our studies.
So they can go up to 10,000.
Well, up to the basic contract will be 5.
Okay.
So is there a motion?
I will make a motion.
Steve,
And I'll second.
Ron? I'm in trouble with getting initials down here tonight. Ron,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
and Steve.
Yes.
There you go, Dustin, you got a contact. You have council applicants, you have 7. How do you want to schedule that? In the past, the selection of council people have been just by reading, or going through their resumes. Or, of course, you can interview. That's up to you.
I think we ought to do it just like we have in the past.
Yeah. Fine with that.
Okay?
I'm okay with
So
that.
it'll be, and I'll give those to you when the meeting's over so you don't lose them in the, whatever. And when would you like to have that meeting?
I don't know.
Is the public invited?
Pardon me?
Is the public invited?
It'll be live streamed, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It'll be a regular meeting.
Okay.
I did talk to the attorney, and even the interviews of the clerk should have been open meeting. I didn't know that.
Interviews are open.
Interviews are open.
Interviews,
Interviews?
yes.
Oh.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't either.
Okay. We're not. Is Wednesday? We're not meeting Wednesday this week. When do
No,
we have,
that
we need
was,
to have
we can't, see.
because we have to be able
I'll
to
have to see
publicize.
what that meeting was set as.
Okay.
I think that'll work.
say,
Especially, I guess when I didn't bring that up, I didn't know if you were gonna say interview. So if you just wanna meet, that'll work.
I'm gonna say I'm still available Wednesday. I think I had on the calendar
Yeah.
at 5.
I don't know, see, what is that,
It's
November? I don't
the
even know.
12th.
12th,
At
okay.
5.
at 5 o'clock. Alrighty.
So what was the date again?
Wednesday, this coming Wednesday,
Oh, okay.
5 o'clock. Well, okay. As I alluded to, we've had some issues today. One thing is with the copier. Unfortunately, it's decided to do its own thing. So I don't have a claims register. As soon as we can get that out to you, I'll get it out to you. The payroll allocation, though, you do have
Yes.
in your packet. So, okay, that's some, gosh, my shoulder. So I will send that claims register as soon as we can get it printed. For a while, it would only print half the page, so then we got it, and then it said it was scanning when it wasn't scanning, so we just didn't have it. December, Dr. Fligger will be here to talk about the opioid monies. And we did get some unrestricted funds. Do you want to continue with sending that to the county?
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
consensus?
Yes.
what's nice about that, the town of Warren gets listed all the time. And our funds are so meager compared to, but they always, they're very careful
Right.
about always saying,
Recognizes. Yeah, that's nice.
always saying Warren, so. Park, I don't, Dustin, do you have anything about park or anything? Okay.
That's it, park.
Mhm.
Can I jump in on that?
Sure.
Can we come up there or can I stop back here?
I don't think they can hear you.
You might want to come up
Okay.
and sit closer table.
I already talked to Mr. Roof and the clerk. I just wanted to see if I could get approval to start another softball league next year, an adult co-ed softball league.
Would you give them your name?
Jason Garrison, sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I've never done a city council meeting, so.
All good.
So yes, I ran the Parks Department softball in Huntington, and that's all just enclosed with the park, so I never had to do a city council thing, so.
Gotcha.
Does this have to go before the?
Well, as I
public?
shared with him, and he's aware of the schedule at Tower Park, that he'll have to fill in when Baseball Association's not having.
Yes,
and
I wanted
he's-
to.
He said that you have 2 nights with it.
I was gonna do one night, I just wanted to get
One.
approval so that I could set it all up, and then I'll work with Lisa on the baseball schedule, and then when her league is usually Tuesday and Thursday, so I was just gonna do like Monday or whatever day she's not using. But it would be counteractive to get it all set up and then ask you guys, hey, can I do this? And you say no, then
Right.
I did a bunch of work for nothing, so I just wanted to talk to you guys, see if I can get approval for it. Then as it gets in, I can get with Lisa, get all the information ironed out, and then we'll come and give you, any of the other information you guys have needed.
Jason, how many teams do you want and how long's the season?
Yeah.
It usually goes, like when baseball gets over, it's like the end of July, and it goes till, it's supposed to be over in October, but rain out games and things, stuff like that, so it gets pushed like, I don't think we got done until the 2nd or 3rd week of October for Lisa's league this year.
Isn't that about when the adult league ends anyway?
Yeah, in Huntington, because like I said, I was in charge of the Parks Department's softball, and then they just handed it all over to me and said, like, you just do it. So now I'm in charge of the league in Huntington. In Huntington, we have a summer and a fall because we do it on Sundays. Because the baseball in Huntington uses Homeyer and the POW Club. They don't use the Parks Department field, so it's more available. So we do a lot longer in Huntington, but it usually gets over about October for fall.
My question was about the local league, because they go into the park setup. Doesn't the local league end about that same time?
Yeah, so the Visa's league that she has currently, it ends right around middle of October.
I thought I was.
So if I did mine in the same
Same
venue
time
as hers, I would be on a different
Yeah.
day, but I would be finishing with about the same schedule.
Yeah, that was, that's what, because of the maintenance and everything to close the
Yeah.
park.
Yes, I wouldn't be running any longer
Okay.
than what she does.
Would you want the concession stand open?
If they want to open it to make money, I
We'll
would
have to
love to
contact them.
have them there.
I mean,
How many teams are you wanting?
Well, right now I've already got 5.
Okay.
That's just because the whole reason I'm doing this is I've had several of the teams that we all play with ask me to run, to start something else to have another option.
Okay.
So I've got 5 right now, and then when I get, say, hey, I've got approval, because they're all saying, yeah, if you get approval, we put a team in, so it could be more than that.
And how does that work? Like if we approve it now, but then we have a park board and they want to take stuff on, is that something that we just say, hey, we're giving you a heads up that we do have?
you would still have
We'd still have the
authority.
authority over that.
Yeah, you'd still not, the park board is not even formed.
Okay.
So what he's asking, are you all right with them from out of town using the park?
Well, it'd still be mostly people from
Well,
Warren.
what I mean is,
Yeah.
not a Warren League is what I'm referring to.
Right.
I have no problem.
Yeah.
No, that's
More
fine, that's
activity,
great.
sounds great.
Yep, and just coordinate with
Yeah, so
the current calendar, I guess, or.
Yes, I'll get, so as it gets closer to time, then I'll try to get put on the agenda for one of the days, and then I'll have more info from Lisa, and then I can give you guys more details.
Jason, just make it mandatory that all the players have to eat in town. Yeah, can't go anywhere else. Eat in Warren. If you're gonna play out here, you gotta eat out here
Well, as I
too.
say, there's probably at least 70% of the teams and people that play are from Warren, which is why, because they don't come and play in my league because it's not during the week. And a lot of people don't want to do that on Sunday, so they're like, well, if we had another option in Warren
Through the week.
through the week, then it could add to it.
So they can play in both leagues?
Yeah, they can play in both leagues. Yeah.
That's nice. I think that's great.
I appreciate it. Next, I'll contact Lisa and get her
So is that by
schedule, what
consensus?
baseball's gonna do, and then I do that.
Yeah. By consensus?
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, very good. And Jason, could you sent me your email, I got it.
Yes, I can give you what, you need anything else, my number or
Well,
anything
just
like that?
pardon?
You need my phone number or anything like that?
I
Or just
don't know
email
when I
us?
need to phone you because it would just be to work out anything that might come out. Do you guys do anything to take care of the fields?
That's, I'm not sure, like I said, Lisa has, I was gonna find out what she does.
Okay,
And then I would just kinda
Yeah.
do whatever she does.
because I know they put quite a bit into
Yeah,
that.
and in Huntington, the Parks Department, charges to take care of the field.
Oh,
Yeah, so
that's interesting.
So it's slightly different, just like I said, because it's not ran through the city, it's specifically the Parks Department. So there's a few nuanced things that I'd have to
Yeah.
adjust to and find out from Lisa.
I think that's great. I appreciate working with her and,
All right, thank you, I appreciate it.
yeah.
Thank
All right,
Thanks.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Are we adjourned?
Can we go now or?
Meeting adjourned.
Yay! I thought we were waiting on the adjourn.
You're sitting there looking at me like,
We power this down, Meryl?
oh, yeah. What, be careful what you did.
I gotta,
I didn't hit nothing
can't
yet.
chat too long, I gotta go to Huntington to.
Oh, boy.
4-H leaders meeting.
Running all over the place tonight.
Everywhere tonight, yeah. Fort Wayne to Warren.
Back and back and back.
Yeah. See you guys, thank you.
See ya.
What's that? I got some small.
Dustin, I've never